Today's episode is sponsored by NBC's new hit comedy, Young Rock. It's the #1 comedy of the winter. Watch new episodes Tuesday night at 8 o'clock, only on NBC.
What time is it?
Technology time.
Welcome to the Channel Juice Podcast, Northern California's #3 ranked channel-based podcast. In today's emergency episode, we are talking about the biggest event in Dell's history, Dell's FRS 2021. And we have the biggest star here from FRS, is what has been labeled by my colleagues as the interview of the century, right? You can't go on social media, watch TV anywhere without people talking about what transpired in day one of FRS, right? And the theme of FRS was the unstoppable mission. And Bill Scannell kept talking about never stop going for the gold. And he talked about the most impressive Olympic performances in his history. And he had 4 that stood out for him, right? The first one is 1988, the Jamaican bobsled team's 30th-place finish. Not only did that spark a revolution for Jamaica and get them into the Winter Games, it also created the Oscar award-winning film Cool Runnings, which I know everyone, all of my listeners, just absolutely love that film. The second most impressive Olympic performance was the 2004 men's basketball team labeled the Dream Team 4. The team went in with a 24-0 record and faced so much adversity, including losing by 19 to Puerto Rico, and finished a very impressive 5-3, grabbing the bronze medal with a team of Stephon Marbury, Richard Jefferson, Tim Duncan, just one of the most memorable performances in men's basketball history. The third is 7-time Tour de France winner Lance Armstrong and his courageous performance in the 2000 Olympics, grabbing a bronze medal, and just unbelievable, remarkable performance, and just his journey of beating cancer and the way he trained, just all the young people. I just look up to him so much, doing it the right way. And the last one is one of the most decorated Olympians of all time in 2000, Marion Jones, winning 6 medals, 3 golds, 3 bronze, and one they say is the best performance ever in Olympic history. Unfortunately, in 2007, she was stripped of all those medals, but at the time, it was one of the most impressive performances we've ever seen. And in today's episode, this is a monumental moment for technology, but really just a monumental moment for history. Put on your calendar, February 23rd, 2021, circle that, highlight that. This is when we have watched the 2 biggest names in technology square off one-on-one. This is Gates versus Steve Jobs. This is Jordan versus LeBron, Kobayashi versus Joey Chestnut. This is Google interviewing Apple. This is the biggest moment in technology history, right? So let me walk through our guest stats, right? Because you've heard everything about him. This is a 5-time Inspire Award winner. 5. This guy is on the Power Store Hall of Fame 3 different times. He's been awarded that prestigious right. He's a 1-time Ring the Bell winner. He's the CEO of Tech Talk Podcast. My guest, none other than Buck, the channel guy, Wright.
Brett, thanks for having me.
Buck, I'm
a fan of the show, first-time guest, and I am so excited.
I can't believe this is, there is, I can't believe this moment's upon us. This is history right now.
It is, isn't it? And what better reason to get us together than Dell FRS being broadcasted to the entire company? I mean, this is just a phenomenal event and a phenomenal day to celebrate.
Day one blew away my expectation. It was just unbelievable. You had to think the same thing, didn't you?
Absolutely. I mean, I'm just so amazed at our company's ability to continue to evolve with the times, and not just evolve, but help the world and help the world's evolution and really give back to the community, help the employees, help the customers. I mean, we're just so well positioned for both today and for the future. And I just can't think of a better way to get out and talk about this than on your podcast.
No, there isn't, right? And the amount of listeners, there's just no better way. But let me start with 2020, right? Let me take you down memory lane. I want to see how your family's doing. How are you doing? You know, it's just such an unprecedented time. You know, how did 2020 treat you going into the new year?
Brett, thanks for asking. You're always a gentleman. Absolutely, the family's great. You know, we just this past weekend celebrated my wife's birthday. And then before that, we celebrated our first purchase of a French press and also an air fryer that's really revolutionized how we cook in the kitchen.
Oh, wow. Wow. And again, if anyone's interested in the air fryer, the link will be below. But are you guys enjoying the air fryer? You're on the train?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, the amount of different options that you can put in the air fryer, let's just put it this way. Our microwave is now in the closet. It's all about the air fryer, baby.
Can you believe? Yeah, can you guys believe that it's now in the that's a pretty perfect segue to talk about some of the highlights from FRS. What was your highlight from FRS? Like, what'd you take from day one?
Wow, I mean, there was just so much great content, right? But at the same time, you got to tip your hat to Bill Scannell, Michael Dell, and Jeff Clark. I mean, they really, really delivered. And the three things that I'm walking away from was when Bill Scannell talked about the importance of persevering and belief and the outcomes that derives, right? I thought that was just what a great way to start the broadcast. And then Michael Dell coming on. I mean, God, who does not love Michael Dell, right?
No one. No, yeah, agreed.
And he really talked about how we're uniquely positioned to focus on customer outcomes right now. And that's more important than ever because we're in an outcome-based world driven by data. And then he highlighted some of the fact that technology investments are being prioritized, right? So what better place to be than at a technology behemoth like Dell Technologies, and the importance and the growing trends of AI and machine learning and digitizing and securing business models and the distributed and hybrid cloud and hybrid work and learning environments, right? So it's just amazing. And then to round it off, Jeff Clark and his 10 strategic priorities they were next level.
Yeah, so let me stop you there because we're getting a lot of feedback right now on that, right? You're just seeing so much about the 10 priorities. You know, out of the 10, what stood out to you on that? Because that's right now, that's a highlight for me.
Brett, you're absolutely right. What a highlight. And there's 10 and they're all important, right? And you know, at another time, we'll go into all 10, but for the purpose of this, let's just touch on my three favorite, right? So the first one was grab the rebound in ISG. And Jeff talked about how infrastructure spend have been deferred, but now the market is expecting to see server growth up 3%, external storage up 4%, mid-range growth of 8%. And how well are we positioned with PowerStore, right? 8% expectation in mid-range storage growth, and we have PowerStore? Like, you gotta love it. And then the second priority that really jumped out to me is the modernized services, right? And that was his fifth. And what I really took from that is that customers don't see a delineation anymore between products and services. They care about outcomes. And that's what at Dell Technologies we care about. So I just love it. And then the third one I'm going to highlight was Jeff Clark's sixth, where it's go-to-market 3.0, evolving investments in automation so that Dell Technologies employees can spend more time enabling the evolution of our customers. And the importance of increasing our net new buyers and really perfecting our cross-sell capabilities. Dell Technologies, we're just so well positioned to execute. I love it, and I love all 10, but those were the three that really jumped out to me, Brett.
Let me ask you another question, but I'm going to do it in 3 letters, okay? DTA, go.
Wow. DTA, I mean, the Dell Technologies advantage, and it's been revamped. And I mean, you just got to love it. Like the 4 components of strategy of modernizing at the core and building technology ecosystems and winning at the edge and leading with Apex are great. And then you double click and you really get into it and you look at How do we optimize workloads with multi-cloud flexibility? How do we secure and protect environments for everyone, regardless of their location, right? With the digital workplace. How do we turn data insights into action by innovating with data? And how do we ensure security everywhere with intrinsic security? And then you just gotta love how we round it out with it's really about the people. Dell Technologies has a diverse group of employees and people ready to help our customers with a wide-ranging skill sets and backgrounds to really just deliver and drive home the DTA for each customer, right? So you gotta love it.
Absolutely love the new DTA. I love it. So, I can't let you out of here before asking. We got a couple writing questions right now. The first one is from Steve Crow. He wants to know, Buck, hope you're doing great. What is your favorite elective of the day? That's a great question.
Great. Hey, first of all, Steve, thank you for the question. Hope you're doing well. Last time we got together, it was an absolute blast. Can't wait to do it again. So yeah, when it comes to electives, first, I took two of them. The first one was addressing emerging technologies. And I really learned about the evolution of post-quantum cryptography, 5G, the edge, and the semiconductor industry. I mean, that was phenomenal. And then the second was on smart security, where I learned about the difference between bolt-on security and intrinsic security, right? So hopefully, you found, similar value from your elective, Steve, and great question, and thanks for writing in.
The next one's from the guy whose name's on the building, from Michael Dell. And he wants to know, hey, Buck, what's your favorite part of working at Dell?
Michael, thank you. And by the way, thank you for the birthday wishes back in December. Really means a lot to get that note from you every year. Absolutely. My favorite part about working for Dell is absolutely the people. Like, there's no other company that's got this mix of phenomenal leadership, phenomenal employees, right? And just the way that we come together and battle adversity and continue to succeed quarter after quarter, year after year. It's like, it's a band of brothers, and I just love it. It's such a great place. So really appreciate the mix of people that you've put together. It's just phenomenal.
And I got one more question, right? We're going to sneak in here. This one's from Jeff Flowers. He said, hey, Buck, I love technology time. I want to know, how are you in this new remote workforce? How are you getting close to your partners?
Jeff, great to hear from you. Great question. I mean, this is one thing that I think has actually been advancing faster and faster. So Michael and Jeff, they talked a lot about how we're evolving in a digital world, and Dell's continuing to deliver the ability for customers to engage their customers in new and unique ways, right? And I think working at Dell, I have all the tools to go ahead and do that as well. So we talked a lot about, the fact that throughout our company, we're on 20,000 Zoom calls a day. Like, I used to be able to visit 3 partners in a day. Now I'm on Zoom calls with 7 different partners in a given day, talking through driving outcomes, right? And we're going over presentations on sharing screens and having very valuable conversations. And then couple that with what we're doing with events, right? I've had Michael Phelps on for events. I've had, the people that we've had on for events are just phenomenal. Oh, then the whiskey tasting and the wine tastings and the Brian Malarkey cooking episodes. Like, whose family didn't have a blast doing
everyone
with Brian Malarkey, right? So just the way the number of ways and the speed and the agility that we can engage customers and engage partners is better than ever. I love this new model, right? This hybrid world. We're never going back to exactly how it was before. We're using the new tools, and the speed of trust and the ability to be in front of our partners and customers has never been better.
But we're not just here, right? Like, you can feel the moment, right, with us going back and forth, but we're not just here because of FRS. There's another reason you're here. I want you to talk about your new book that's coming out and, kind of where we could get that. But, what's the other reason you're here today?
Brett, thank you. Thank you, kind sir. Like I said, you're a gentleman. So I just released my new book. It's called Channel Juice, the real untold story behind the juice. Now, why did I finally release it this year? Well, this year is the year of the channel. Just as intrinsic security means that security is built into our products, built into our solutions, intrinsic channel is what I've coined here. And that means that our Dell experience has the channel built in for our customers, right? It's not Dell or the channel, it's Dell and the channel, right? It's all one. So what a great year to release Channel Juice, the untold story of the juice. And I hope you guys all go out and if you have the curiosity of what's the story behind the juice, how do I go get Channel Juice? How do I be Channel Juice? This is a book. Get it wherever books are sold. If you like the audio copy, I actually read the transcript for the audio copy. So it's just a fan favorite. I've got great reviews. Check it out. Please read it. You will not be disappointed.
And Buck, to the listeners, I've read it, and guess what? You're not disappointed. What a book, Buck! What a book! I don't know how you get enough time in the day, but you do. Hey, I know you're going a million places, but really appreciate you jumping on.
Brett, thanks for having me. Like I said, big fan of the podcast. I'll be back anytime. Got to have you on my show, Technology Time, at some point. Long overdue there. Thanks again, Brett. This is Buck the Channel Guy Wright signing off.
Wow, Buck, right, guys. The pleasure was on my end. And then just remember, tomorrow FRS kicks off at 7 Pacific time sharp with the Unstoppable Innovation. And again, it's very easy to jump on the process. They'll send you a code either through text, email, or hand deliver it to your house. But that code is very easily accessible, and you should be able to get that tomorrow morning. I am Brett Miller. This was a special FRS emergency podcast. Keep the channel juice flowing. I am out.